Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course. And as you can see from the title of this video, I want to talk about President Joe Biden announcing that he is dropping out of the 2024 presidential race. I do want to share some information with you all. If you look on my community tab here on YouTube, I did post a link to President Biden's X account, also known as Twitter, where he released a formal statement, and all of the major news networks have picked it up and they have reported on it as well. So this is coming from CBS News. It says Biden drops out of the 2024 presidential race and endorses Vice President Kamala Harris for the Democratic nomination. Now, President Biden has just made this announcement today, Sunday, that he is dropping out of the 2024 presidential race, and he threw his support behind Vice President Kamala Harris. And President Biden wrote, "While it has been my intention to seek reelection, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for my term." Mr. Biden posted in a statement on social media. And President Biden said that he would address the nation later on this week. Shortly after the announcement, President Biden endorsed Kamala Harris for the Democratic nomination. Although he cannot appoint a nominee, there is an emergency meeting of senior Democratic National Committee members happening today. So if you're wondering, wow, they were already prepared to start meeting about, a new candidate for this year's race. Well, we all know it has been reported. I posted that on my community tab as well earlier this week, that according to CNN, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and other politicians were reaching out to President Biden, urging him to drop out of the race. I gave commentary on it in previous videos explaining that if you all felt this way, I'm sure you've been feeling that President Biden would not be a great fit probably a year ago. And it would have made more sense to approach him on this topic a year ago to give the Democratic Party more time to plan for a new nominee and to prepare that person, which will probably be Kamala Harris. To do this 3.5 months before the country votes for a president just reeks disorganization and being in a rush, in my opinion. It doesn't mean I don't believe that millions of people will just automatically downright vote for 45, but it's just a bad look for the optics. It just makes the party looks very disorganized as a whole. And President Biden notes, "My very first decision as the party nominee in 2020 was to pick Kamala Harris as my vice president," Mr. Biden posted on social media, "and it's been the best decision I've made. Today, I want to offer my full support and endorsement for Kamala to be the nominee for our party this year. Democrats, it's time to come together and beat Trump. Let's do this." So again, I feel like probably the biggest mistake was just people like Pelosi reaching out to him this summer versus last year. That would have been a more opportune time. Now, as far as each political party's policies, we know that in a very general high level, with the conservatives, they do not like a lot of government rule. They believe in a free marketplace. They do not separate religion from politics. They incorporate Christianity in their politics, which makes them against women's reproductive freedom. And myself individually, I look at policies on a very individual basis. I don't just program my mind to automatically go with one party's ideas on everything. I believe in reproductive freedom for women. I'm very uncomfortable with someone saying that this is what I can and cannot do with my body. It feels very controlling, and it feels like an infringement upon my personal rights. So I believe in reproductive freedom for women. And I like the idea of a free marketplace. I would imagine that the government feels like they have to manage a lot of things just to ensure perhaps there's less scamming, less fraud. And then, of course, they want to make sure that you pay your way, that you pay your taxes. When I think about government rule being involved in a lot, I think of how, now with Cash App, once you receive $600 in a year, you definitely have to report that to the IRS. That is something that you would be taxed on. And I feel like, in my opinion, who does that mostly affect? Small business owners. Who does that mostly affect? Black women. I think about all of the Black women who are running successful businesses as makeup artists and eyelash technicians, and they do hair. My tax preparer, I used to just like, I sent her all of my documents electronically. I used to just pay her electronically. But after the government got involved with Cash App, now I physically go to her and take her the fee now for filing my taxes. So I do think of that as an example of government rule. And of course, we know conservatives, they are against programs, of assistance. They are not even proponents of Social Security, and sometimes they get really deep on the conversations. If you've ever listened to Carson Tucker when he was on Fox News, he felt like the welfare system is what removes the dad from the household and creates the single mothers. And then the country ends up taking care of those households. I think that his vision is a little skewed. I feel like it's just basically just men creating babies, unprotected sex, with no intention on marrying the women. And a lot of single mothers are not on assistance. So you really have to listen to what these parties are saying. But when it comes to 45, Trump, I feel like he is on a totally different planet. Then you're not even talking about policy and voting for people who represent your beliefs and your mindset. When it comes to him, I feel like he brings a chaos to this country that I have never seen before. And he just seems very toxic and unhealthy for the country overall. Now, of course, after you decide who you're going to vote for and you vote your heart, that is your right, but I just think about him bringing all of the chaos. There's like a spirit and an energy that moves throughout this country like a wave of electricity when he is in office. And that is what concerns me. But I wanted to bring this news to you that he is dropping out. I know that people were not believing it. Earlier this week, I said it. I was in the gym and I saw it on CNN. The reporter, he had the heads up. He had the details, he had the tea, and he said that President Biden was going to make his announcement that he was dropping out this weekend. And people were saying that that was not true, but it did come to pass. So, what do you all think about this announcement? Definitely, I encourage you to keep a positive mindset. If you are spiritual and you pray, definitely pray about the state of this country, pray about the election. And hopefully, we get a president that is professional, that does not incite violence or division. And either way, everything will be okay in the end. I have to believe that. Please hit the like button on this video as it is a free way of supporting the channel. And please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit if you have not already done so. I thank you all so much for checking out this video and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Goodbye.